Happy holidays, everybody. Well, I want y'all to take y'all time and take this journey with me into the past. There's this website that I went to, I seen on YouTube, and I want you to see some of the inventions that was created over the years. And also, I want you to look at the pictures that you're looking at and identify who we are dealing with, why we are dealing with it, and how we got to this point. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and show you these videos. And please like and subscribe. And tell me what you think. I mean, because I know they say our attention span is very short. But I promise you, if you take this journey with me, you won't regret it. There'll be some very intriguing things that you can learn from. So let's start.
George Taylor in 1869. Dr. Taylor used it to treat female hysteria. The coronation of Bokassa, the Emperor of the Central African Republic. 1/3 of the country's budget was spent on it, and among the refreshments was the meat of his political opponents. In the 1930s, a woman's pregnancy was determined by inserting her urine into frogs. If, after 15 hours, the frog started laying eggs,
Just think how
the
these
woman was
people think.
pregnant.
The stuff
Dorothy
that they
Ellen,
do.
Chicago, 1920s. In 1926, 24-year-old prostitute Dorothy Ellen strangled 30-year-old gangster Michael O'Hara with a scarf during sex in a brothel. He was paying for rough play, but in a moment of passion, she went too far. Dorothy was sentenced to 15 years in prison. White cafe goers cruelly cover a black girl and two of her supporters with flour and drinks for daring to sit at the counter in defiance of old racist
I want you to
traditions.
see what you're dealing with.
1963.
1963.
The miraculous survivors from the 87th floor of the World Trade Center, New York, September 11th, 2001. The execution of Amin Guth, the commandant of the Plazov concentration camp. He was the officer who entertained himself by shooting prisoners from the balcony with a sniper rifle.
Europeans.
Can my dad go from XL to M with walking by Halloween?
Lena Medina, the youngest mother in medical history, gave birth at the age of 5.
Wow.
The Real Batman, 1892. The photo shows Bill Smith, a butcher who fought off thieves and patrolled the streets of New York at night looking for criminals. Goalkeeper Sam Bertram stands alone, unaware that the game was stopped 15 minutes ago due to fog, 1937.
Wow.
In 1916, when the U.S. debated whether to enter World War I, legislators from Nebraska proposed a bill for a national referendum. Anyone who voted for war would immediately become a volunteer and be sent to the front. 7 Native Americans were brought to Europe as new residents of a human zoo, 1889.
Wow.
Newspaper headlines read on a train to Stamford, Connecticut, the day after John F. Kennedy's assassination, November 23, 1963. The ambiguous pose of a Pompeian man who died as a result of the eruption of Mount Vesuvius on August 24, 79 AD.
He was beaten off.
Women cannibals, USSR, 1920s. August 17, 1896, saw the first recorded pedestrian accident in the world. This marked the beginning of fatal traffic accidents. After the discovery of radioactivity, many manufacturers began adding new, miraculous substances to consumer goods. In the first half of the 20th century, radioactive bread,
all about making money,
cosmetics, and bath salts were produced in different countries. Some products were even named after radium because of the trend. fingerprints became a method of identification after two people named Will West were convicted of the same crime in Kansas. They looked exactly the same, but only fingerprints helped determine who was guilty.
Wow.
If you were caught by the police for jaywalking, you had to stand in the shame box for 30 minutes. South Korea, 1970s.
All these laws.
U.S. military malaria medicine advertisement during World War II. Papua New Guinea, 1940s. Malaria spread by a specific type of mosquito. Menelik II, the King of Kings of Ethiopia, believed in the power of the Bible. When he felt unwell, he would tear out pages from the Holy Scriptures and eat them. He died in 1913, having eaten the entire Book of Kings.
Wow.
A little girl from the Philippines was displayed in the Coney Island Zoo with animals. She was placed among monkeys and lizards, tied with ropes, and people were allowed to throw peanuts at her, 1914. Swedish soldiers prepare arrested Germans and Baltics for extradition to the USSR. These were soldiers from the Third Reich who fled to this country after World War II. A soldier equipped with a helmet with chainmail to protect his eyes from shell fragments, stones, and other debris, USA, 1918. A headless rooster, Mike, who lived for 18 months after almost being completely decapitated. This fact was documented by scientists in 1945. Mike became a media star, and his fame brought his owners a considerable income.
Money.
A young bride heading to her wedding, China, 1912. A typical wedding during a time of scarcity, USSR, 1963. A woman in a gas mask walks with a stroller, Germany, 1942. The execution of counter-revolutionaries. Before the shooting, a sign listing their crimes was hung around their necks, China, 1968. In the 1950s, Italy produced protective shoes for women. These shoes were equipped with spurs on the heels and toes, so that women could protect themselves from persistent admirers. In 1895, two cars collided in Ohio. The oddity of this case is that the automobile industry was just beginning, and there were only two cars in the entire state. A mannequin head made from soap, toilet paper, and real hair, used by John Anglin to escape from Alcatraz prison, USA, 1962.
Wow.
A device for smoking an entire pack of cigarettes, 1950s. Argentavis, possibly the largest bird to ever inhabit Earth.
And they
A
killed
rope bed in a drunk tank in Britain, early 20th century.
European.
A Coca-Cola advertisement, USA, 1984.
Look at this. Seriously, look. If this came out earlier, plumbers would be out of business, no matter.
The Dyatlov Pass tourist group before their mysterious disappearance, 1959. A prisoner from the American
If y'all
sentencing
still
prison
watching, I
undergoes
appreciate that
Chinese water
because
torture,
it's some real
1860.
history.
An American food parcel for starving Soviet Russia. Americans fed about 10 million people daily. Throughout the 1920s, Soviet Russia received over 1 million such shipments. Children being fed as part of the Save the Children program.
It's funny how all these European countries always put starvation, like nobody have nothing to eat.
The Ku Klux Klan at a fair in Colorado, 1926. Men from the Babira tribe. They believed that twisting the upper lip in such a manner was very beautiful and attractive to women. Belgian Congo, 1924. The Death Wall in Rajkot, India, 1970s. Canadian Prime Minister Pierre Elliott Trudeau carries his future successor, Justin Trudeau, under his arm. Ottawa, 1973. A copper mask for a war participant, created in an era when plastic surgery was not yet known, 1918. Few survivors of the Titanic disaster, USA, May 1912. A Japanese soldier adjusts a Chinese man's head before decapitating him. Execution of a prisoner of war, 1938. A car powered by charcoal, Japan, 1945. A death toll counter from car accidents in Brooklyn, 1927. A harsh yet convincing form of punishment for violating military discipline was used on a Soviet guard ship in 1991. The city of Murmansk, after a German carpet bombing, USSR, 1942. 350 tons of bombs were dropped on the city in one day. Officer with his belongings, 1862. Freed slaves were considered contraband or captured property at that time. A rare photo of North Korean leader Kim Il-sung showing a tumor on his neck. Photographers were prohibited from photographing the right side of his face. Late 1980s. A school bus on the streets of Taiwan, 1950s. Siamese twins, Rosa and Joseph Blazek, and Rosa's lover, Franz Dvorak. In the 19th century in England, there was a man with a second face on the back of his head. Edward was an heir to the English peerage in the 19th century. He had an additional face at the back of his head that could not eat or speak, but was capable of laughing and crying. Crossbow arrows in the skull of a man who fell during the battle for the Swedish city of Visby, Gotland Island, in 1361. Even with a lawnmower in line, the fuel crisis in the USA, 1973. The shadow of a person left after the atomic bomb blast in Hiroshima. Chicago police prepare to extinguish a burning cross. The riots were triggered by an African-American family moving into a neighborhood previously inhabited only by white people, 1963. Two local hunters with a captured cannibalistic python, Philippines, 1970. Jews queue at a travel agency hoping to leave Germany for Eretz Israel, Berlin, January 1939. Ans van Dyck before the special court in Amsterdam, February 1947. Dutch collaborator who handed Jews